Hi, my name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. And as I sit here tonight, a very, very disgusted, frustrated American. It's been well over a decade since the signing of the Patriot Act, this liberty-killing piece of legislation that got the ball rolling, that started the erosion of the freedoms in this nation, the destruction of the Constitution. So as I sit here tonight to get ready to make a commentary about the Amash Amendment that was defeated by Congress, I flipped it to CNN to see what the watchdog of government is talking about, to see what this establishment media network thinks is worthy to bring to you at the primetime news hour. What do we see? Wolf Blitzer interviewing yet another person that is trying to convince you that you need to be divided in this nation. In this case, along racial lines, talking about the Martin Zimmerman case. Again, non-stop coverage of this divisive issue that is meant to do just that, divide. Because divided, we are conquered. Distracted, we don't pay attention to what's going on that's happening in Washington, D.C., that it further erodes your freedom, your liberty. I'm talking about the Amash Amendment that was defeated yesterday in Congress. Very narrow vote, of course. There was a lot of representatives that wanted to protect the American people from a spy agency that is spying on the American people, collecting every email transaction, collecting all this metadata so that they can sift through and find the terrorists among us. This piece of legislation narrowly defeated, and the mainstream media is giving the credit to Alexander, who briefed Congress to show them how important this ability of the NSA to spy on everybody and collect all their information is, how important this is to fighting terrorism abroad and terrorism at home. But it wasn't Alexander's briefing that passed this legislation. It was Nancy Pelosi that passed this legislation. She went and convinced not so left-leaning Democrats to vote against this amendment so it would be defeated. This is how it works in Washington, D.C. They pander to the cameras, and they will be coming home in August, pandering to these cameras, talking to the people in their constituency, saying they did it for one reason or another. They pick the Democrats and Republicans that are least likely to lose their position and have them vote for legislation that destroys your freedom. How on God's green earth can any representative and of American citizen say it is okay for our number one spy agency to go ahead and spy on the American people, to steal their freedom in order to provide them a little bit of security? How on God's green earth can a representative of any constituent in this nation agree to sign off on this? Political wrangling. They've turned into nothing but a bunch of political whores that will do absolutely anything to benefit themselves in their future political aspirations. This is why we see a complete rotation of these individuals going from one position to another and never leaving Congress, never leaving if they play ball. Amass all this power, as much power as any third world dictator. These individuals amass this kind of lucrative power in Washington, D.C., and we end up losing our freedom, all in the name of providing a little bit of safety and a little bit of security. It wasn't a month ago when James Clapper, head of intelligence agency, came out and apologized for lying to Congress, right? The military and security industrial complex, along with a corrupt financial industry, absolutely dominates and controls our government process in this nation. They are the shadow government, writing legislation, passing laws, having their puppets in Washington, D.C. do this, and we are the ones that are supposed to sit back and just pretend it's all happening for the greater good, for spreading democracy around the world. Enough is enough. It has, again, been over a decade since George W. Bush signed this legislation of the Patriot Act that Nancy Pelosi has been against time after time. Yet, when a Democrat's in the White House, we have the Republicans saying, well, they're against the NSA, unbelievable amount of information they're gathering on every American. It is a game. It is a con game. And when the heat gets turned up a little bit too much in D.C., they throw a distraction our way. It is time to wake up and realize the mainstream establishment media is working against the American people. They are not watchdogs of the government. The government itself is not of, by, and for the people of this nation. It is of, by, and for special interests, period, plain and simple. Stories are attached. Wake people up to this. Over a decade is too much. It is too much. We're being led into Stasi-style police state. At the end of the day, our only industry will be spying on one another, just like pre-fall of the wall East Germany. Stories are attached. That's all I got.